It was a song, one gospel song ended slavery in the world. John Newton had just written Amazing Grace. And a young politician, William Wilberforce, was in the parliament at the time.
Okay, I like Bucci and I have a lot of respect for what he represents in the gospel music industry. However, this assertion is not exactly accurate. There's a lot more nuance as to how slavery ended, and it goes way beyond a single song. Yes, music moves people in powerful ways, in amazing ways, but Amazing Grace didn't end slavery. Here's what actually happened in a nutshell. John Newton, the writer of Amazing Grace, was once a brutal slave trader. In 1748, during a violent storm at sea, he cried out to God for help, and that near death experience marked a turning point in his personal faith. But not in his profession. He continued to trade in slaves until 1754 and didn't fully cut ties with the trade until 1764. And this was the same year that he got ordained as a minister in the Church of England, or by the Church of England. Now, it wasn't until 1788, decades later, that Newton became an active abolitionist. Now, William Wilberforce, on the other hand, was a member of the British Parliament who found faith during a trip to France in 1784. Wrestling with how to reconcile his newfound beliefs with his political life, he sought counsel from Newton, amongst other people. Newton encouraged him to stay in Parliament and work towards justice using his political office. Now, Wilberforce went on to become a key figure in the abolitionist movement. He spent over 20 years pushing anti-slavery legislation, and the Slave Trade Act finally passed in 1807, the year that Newton died. Very significant. And full emancipation across the British Empire came in 1833, the same year Wilberforce died. So within the abolitionist movement were other notable figures like Thomas Clarkson, Granville Sharp, and the Quakers, who were actually the first group of people to champion the abolition of the British slave trade. And amongst the ranks of the abolitionists were also formerly enslaved men like Olaudai Quiano, Otoba Kuguano, who were Africans who were previously enslaved, got their freedom, and also joined the abolitionist movement. And there are so many others, countless others, who gave their lives, who gave their time, who gave their resources to champion in that cause. So it wasn't a one-man show. As for Amazing Grace, Newton originally wrote it in 1772 as part of a sermon, and the famous tune that we now know wasn't even composed until 1835, 2 years after slavery was outlawed. So yes, Newton and Wilberforce knew each other, but no,